Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Okay, guys and girls, today we are back talking about the royals and coronations and business interests, blah, blah, blah. And just a word of warning, I'm not feeling exceptionally well, and thus no one will be spared except the Queen herself. And good or bad, sarcasm will prevail. So please be warned. If you don't want to hear me talk about Prince Charles, among others, then please click out now. Okay. Firstly, many newspapers are reporting on Operation Golden Orb. Now, what is Operation Golden Orb, you ask? Well, it is the plan surrounding Charles's coronation. Charles and Camilla will be crowned side by side, and it is said that Charles is already preparing plans for a service at Westminster Abbey. Apparently, the coronation will be significantly shorter and cheaper than his mother's in 1953. In the words of an insider, the ceremony will be sooner, shorter, smaller, less expensive, and more representative of different community groups and faiths. I guess we, as Christians, Britons, or descendants of the British, should bow down and be grateful that His Royal Highness is at least assuring us that the service will remain Anglican and the vows are not expected to change. Wow, should we be grateful that it will be in English? Sorry, guys, that's just me being sarcastic. You were warned. The number of guests will be limited to 2,000, and fewer members of the royal family will be in attendance. Oh, well, okay. Welcome, King Charles Markle. I guess your brother and sister will have to make way for Barbara Streisand and Rod Stewart. It is also said that only Charles and Camilla, William and Catherine will appear on the balcony afterwards. I guess King Charles would not want Prince Louis to steal the spotlight. Then it's also said that Charles is working on and having a new insignia designed for his reign. My dear friends, I can go into the significance of the Queen's insignia, where it comes from, etc., in true Bookworm style. But today I am so irritable with the whole entire Prince Charles, Harry and Meghan debacle that I just do not have the energy. What really gets my goat about it all is that the Queen is still alive. The Queen herself only had her coronation a year after her father passed away. But not Charles. Oh no, he's already plotting and planning while Her Majesty the Queen, his mother, is still alive. What a vile, devoid of true empathy, self-centered, self-absorbed, spoiled, entitled man he is. And yes, I am not ignorant and know that the media may be prone to making up stories, but there must be an inkling of truth in these stories, as how else would the journalist know the planning for the coronation is called Operation Golden Orb? How would he or she know more or less what the new insignia would look like? Somewhere, someone leaked something, whether by accident or on purpose. The real reason why I am really over the top angry and irritable this morning, something I usually reserve for incidents in my private life and never for my work or public life, although I did once slap someone in public. Anyway, is because everything I told you about Harry may be reintegrating into the monarch, but which even I hoped was not true, is now being confirmed to be true. And how many of you saw the poll in the Express in which it is specifically asked, and I quote, would you support Meghan Markle and Prince Harry rejoining as working royals under King Charles. Seriously? Really? An English newspaper dares to ask that? And so specifically? Why? Who wants to know? Charlie's media liaison office, perhaps? How flippin' disrespectful to even ask that when the British population had already voted in numerous polls and voted them the most unpopular people in the royal family, with the exception of Andrew. The people have already voted to have their titles stripped. Do you think an editor of a newspaper or even a lowly journalist is so stupid not to know that if the majority voted them the least popular and the majority voted to have their titles stripped, that they would vow to support them when they return? I don't think so. This not only reeks of stupidity, but also of arrogance and delusion. Now I ask you, who is that arrogant and delusional? Harry, Meghan, and Charles. So take your pick as to who is behind this. Reading the accompanying article, I think I know and can guess. But you go and decide for yourselves. And for Pete's sake, make your voices heard by voting in this poll, please. And then hairy Harry, with his hair plugs or toupee, was photographed with cousin Eugenie at the Super Bowl. There are so many guesses as to why she was there. Some say she's helping Harry with his memoir. Some say she's there as Jack Brooksbank is there promoting Casamigos, tequila, etc. And lo and behold, I can answer that one for you. Eugenie and Jack are there to promote Jack's company and their tequila and had free tickets. Because Jack is working, Eugenie took her cousin Harry along. End of story. Nothing to see there. If I was in a different country, like I was, and had to attend an event like I did, my first choice would also have been a member of my family. And I'm saying this because I had been there and had done that just over a month ago. The only thing this appearance proves is that the rift in the family where Harry and Meghan are concerned is not as big as everyone is made to believe. Now, while I'm angry and irritable, let's talk about Eugenie's papa, Prince Andrew. And before I'm crucified again, please go and watch Trevor Colt's videos on Prince Andrew. And now, shock, horror! I support Trevor's opinion. And here is why. This time, no beating around the bush, my true feelings and opinion, and nothing but my truth. Do I believe Andrew spent a couple of hours with Maxwell and Virginia acting like a rich, spoiled cad? Yes, I do. Do I believe that photograph with Virginia is real? Yes, I do. Do I believe he slept with her? No, I don't. Do I believe Andrew was an idiot to continue his relationship with Epstein, particularly after Epstein's first court case? Yes, I do. He should never have put foot near him again. He should not even have accepted phone calls from him. Okay, so why I don't believe Andrew slept with Virginia? Andrew may be a spoiled, entitled man, but he was also a fairly attractive man attached to one of the richest families in the world. Andrew could have virtually had any woman he wanted, at least until they got to know him. And he indeed dated and likely slept with models, gentry, politicians' daughters, and others. There was no need for him to sleep with an underdeveloped, drug ravaged teenager. And knowing what I do of Andrew, his obsession with neatness, order, and cleanliness, I seriously doubt he would risk sleeping with a teenager of dubious background and origins, or a prostitute for that matter. Andrew may also be ignorant, spoiled, and full of his own importance, but he's not utterly stupid. And sleeping with a teenager, whether over the age of consent in the United Kingdom or not, is not a risk I see him taking. Having his photograph taken with members of the public is also nothing unusual, as it is something all the royals do on a daily basis, and therefore I do not even find it strange that he could not remember Virginia and that photograph. Is it possible that he groped Virginia and another girl at Epstein's home a month or two, three later? Yes, it is. What would most 40 plus single men do when an 18-year-old comes onto them? But the question is not that. The question is, was Virginia forced, coerced, or raped? No, no, and no again to each one of those questions. But, my dears, I'm not going to go into the details again. What you can do, you can watch the video I did on Andrew and Virginia on my other channel called Bookworm on the Case for more detailed information on both Andrew and Virginia. What I, however, really want to talk to you about today is not really that, but it is this article stating that Charles ordered Andrew to stay out of sight, thus effectively banning Andrew from Windsor Castle. It is also said that Charles will order Andrew to move out of Royal Lodge and perhaps even out of Windsor once he is king. Now, this is just BS of the highest order, and if I was Andrew, I would have shown my brother the middle finger, whether he is king or not, and tell him where to get off. Andrew has lived in the Royal Lodge since 2004, nearly 18 years. Although Royal Lodge is a Crown estate and is technically a grace and favour property, Andrew signed a lease in 2003 for 75 years. At the time, Andrew paid £7.5 million for refurbishments and a further £1 million to the Crown Estate to secure the property. Royal Lodge is situated in Windsor Great Park and is where the Queen Mother lived from 1952 until her death in 2002. It is not only Andrew's home, but also Eugenie, Beatrice, and their children's family home. It is just over 5 miles from Windsor Castle, where Andrew's mother, the Queen, now spends most of her time. Now, I would love to see Charles trying to ignore that lease, a legal document that Andrew signed, and ban him from travelling to Windsor Castle to see his mother. Come on, Prince Charles, bring it on. Added to this whole scenario, the case Andrew is involved in is a civil case and not a criminal case. And the case itself has not even concluded yet. Will Charles apologize if the court decides in Andrew's favor? Unlikely. And guys, now I know I'm getting all heated and hot under the collar, but just hear me out. Before you throw verbal rocks at me, remember, if Charles does cancel Andrew's lease, it will create a precedent for everyone else renting from the Duchy of Cornwall and everyone who leases their homes from Charles and the Duchy. Thus, today it may be Andrew, and tomorrow it may be you. And while I'm preparing this video, the news came in that Camilla now tested positive for COVID. Well, with that news, why don't they go ahead and mention that she attended events after Charles tested positive? Now, I'm getting a lot of backlash on Instagram for jokingly calling her a super spreader. But seriously, the least all of us can do is to take personal responsibility and not put others at risk. People now come with ridiculous arguments. Yeah, but we don't want to be locked down and separated from our families again and blah, 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 blah. And it's not their fault that the vaccine is not working. Yes, my dears, that is all good and well. But just like we do not take our children who has measles and chicken pox or a heavy cold to someone else's home where they may have elderly parents or younger children, there is no reason why we shouldn't treat COVID the exact same way. After all, we are all in agreement that COVID is here to stay. So why don't we treat it like we treat chickenpox and measles and a heavy case of flu? What on earth is wrong with that? And if we do not take personal responsibility, can we then blame our governments when they put us under lockdown once again? Ask yourselves that. I'm not being ridiculous, but I have a granddaughter who was a micro preemie, and I can tell you as a fact that if I should find out that anyone knowing that someone in their household has COVID, has come into contact with her and knowingly risked her getting sick, I will gladly wring their chicken necks. Okay? So just consider that. I'm not asking you to separate from your family or to stay away from society for the rest of your lives. What I'm saying is a day or two or three or four or five or even seven will not kill you, but it may kill someone else. Okay, now that I've said my piece, the sad thing is that it now looks even more likely that the Queen may have contracted the virus as well. And as a matter of fact, there is already gossip doing the rounds that she has. Now, dear friends, as you can hear, I'm not in the best of moods today. But I think sometimes it is necessary to bring across your point in a way where it's not just sucking up to people or saying what you think they expect you to say. Sometimes, if you want to get to know me, you have to listen to how I think, even when I'm upset. Now, dear friends, as always, I wish I could stay here with you all day, but like I said, today I'm not feeling very well. My stomach is a bit upset, my blood pressure just a tad too high. So I'm going to say goodbye for now. Take good care of yourselves until we meet again on the next one. Bye.